Hey, how's it going, guys? Purple Grizzly here, and wait a second. That sounds good. I like that. Uh, some of you guys know I've been gone for a whole week, actually, so I haven't uploaded to my channel or pretty much any other channel, and it feels good. I was on a week-long backpacking and river rafting trip, so pretty much what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell you guys what happened, maybe get a few laughs out of it, and I might have to make it into a couple parts because it was a week-long trip, so either way, I'm sure it'll work out. Before I start this epic story, I'm going to take a moment to mention the gameplay. This is not Black Ops, as you probably guessed by now, but it's actually Battlefield Bad Company 2. And I absolutely love this game, and I was playing with some buddies, and this was probably one of the best games I've ever had, honestly. It's actually a full gameplay. I recorded the whole thing. It's about 30 minutes long. So I thought it'd be perfect for these commentary parts, whatever you want to call them, because there's no way I'm going to be able to tell all you guys what happened with one video. So let me break down this trip I went on for you. I left on the 26th of June and I got home a few days ago on the 2nd of July. The first day of the trip was driving up there. Then the following 2 days were whitewater rafting. Then the following 3 days after that were backpacking in the mountains. And that was pretty brutal, but I'll get to that later. And the final day was driving home. You know what? Now that I think of it, this will be a good time to announce I did start a new channel. It's called Campus Life Archive. And if you guys are very unfamiliar with that name, I'm not surprised. The youth group that I go on these trips with is called Campus Life, and it has literally changed my life. So I'm working on a video of all the epic stuff we did on this trip, and I'm gonna upload it to there. I'm uploading past events that happened with this youth group. So if you guys want to check out the channel, maybe see what I did every summer and all this awesome stuff, go over there and maybe subscribe or just even watch some of the videos. I will leave a link in the description below. So let's start from the very beginning. The first day was driving up there, and there's not much to be said other than we drove up there. I was in a pretty big truck, and there was a dog in the back with me. But nonetheless, it was still fun. We stopped at In-N-Out Burger on the way up there to eat. And you know what? I'm sure you guys... I wonder if you guys know what In-N-Out Burger is. If you live on the West Coast, you definitely know what it is. It's an amazing fast food place, and it's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. So pretty much, the car ride was overall very boring. However, near the end of the car ride, we actually we got a flat tire. It like completely exploded. The truck I was riding in was carrying the trailer that had everyone's stuff in it, and the tire on the trailer is the one that exploded, and it was pretty nasty. We were on the side of the road for about a half hour, but fortunately we got it fixed. Alright, so let's start on the very first day, the actual first day of the trip. The car ride really doesn't count. So this day we were doing whitewater rafting, and we actually drove about a half hour north of Mount Shasta. If you guys don't know where that is, it's up near the Oregon border, Northern California area. And we were going to do we actually did 6 miles on this river the first day. It was pretty awesome. This was my 4th time doing it, and you know, after 4 times you learn how to read the river, you know how to navigate the boat, and it was pretty fun. We had a big raft, but looking back, my very first year, I was shivering like a baby child. I was so scared, like it's not even funny. Like I fell in the rapids that year, and it was pretty intense. Actually, I was probably making it more intense than it actually was. So we're at the end of this day, right? We're not quite done with the river, but every year before we pull off onto the campsite that we stay at overnight, we stop at this rope swing. There's this pretty epic big tree on the side of the river, and there's a rope swing. We swing into it, right? So, you know, I mean, there's, you know, the guys that are doing backflips and stuff off of it. And then my friend Taylor goes, right? And he's a pretty good friend of mine. And, you know, I was just thinking to myself, if anyone's going to fall, it's going to be Taylor. So Taylor's in this tree. He's about ready to swing out, and he just goes for it. He swings, and he probably lets go at the very worst moment possible. We came down the river on these big rubber rafts, and there were a couple canoes, like metal canoes, and he landed probably about 6 inches away from this canoe, and if he was a little closer, his head would have like hit the side of it, and that would have been that would have been very bad. And he like scratched up his leg on the gravel, and it was funny. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad he didn't get hurt, but it was kind of funny how he fell. So then we pulled off the river and stayed at this campsite overnight. It's a pretty nice campsite. Some sweet lawny areas there. But the interesting part of being at that campsite on this day was there's a staff member of the youth group. Well, he's not really a staff member. He's like a friend of it. And he's actually a sheriff up there. And he stopped by to say hi and stuff. And he has this big old SUV with the fatty bars in the back seat of the windows, and there's a door handle on the inside, but it doesn't work. And I didn't know that. So he's like, "Hey Brian, check this out. Hop in here." And yeah, and so he locks me in the back of his SUV as a joke, and he's like telling me how this kid threw up in there earlier. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And I was in there for like 10 minutes, but I managed to smuggle my way out. So we slept in tents this night, and we normally don't sleep in tents, because we're the kind of youth group that likes to sleep outside in our sleeping bags and look at the stars. But the reason we slept in tents was because it was going to rain. And let's just say if you're sleeping outside, the rain is not a nice thing. Luckily, the tent that I was in stayed fairly dry. It was a little damp on the sides of it, because I got like pushed to the edge of the tent. Fall there, I couldn't get in the epic man cuddle that was going on. No homo. And I got a little wet. My stuff got a tad bit wet, but overall it was an okay night. I actually know someone, a friend of mine that night. He had this little mini tent that he thought he was so safe and secure in, and he actually woke up with about an inch of water like in his sleeping bag, and that must have been a real bummer. So after this cold, rainy night, we all got geared up and ready to go for our second day of rafting. This day was a little more intense, and actually it turned out very painful for me. I will describe that in the next video. The reason why this video is coming to a wrap, so if you guys could, I would appreciate a like and a favorite on this video. Show me that you enjoyed. Either way, remember, I am Purple Grizzly, and I will talk to you guys later.